Hello everyone, welcome back to Easy Recipes with Elliot and Southern with a Twist. Today is day 6 of our 19-day recipe special. Today's recipe is 3-ingredient chili, but knowing me, I had to add in my usual ingredients that I use to make chili. So the recipe calls for ground beef, Bushell's baked beans, and tomato sauce, but I decided to add my own little flair. All of these ingredients here are just ingredients that I use from my original chili recipe. So here I am starting to cut up my vegetables right now. I am cutting up some celery. Yes, I put celery in my chili. I've always put celery in my chili. I don't know how to cook chili any other way. I actually like my chili with a lot of vegetables in it. So I'm not making my celery too big. I don't want them too small either. I'm just cutting the celery stick in half and chopping both sides, to where it's kind of small but not too small. So now I am cutting up my bell pepper. I just wanted to add some color, so I used half of a yellow bell pepper and I used a whole green pepper. As you can see, I'm cutting up the green pepper now. I'm doing it the same as the celery. I don't want them too big. I don't want them too small either. They are actually going to cook down because I cook my vegetables with my meat, and they're going to cook down when they simmer in the sauce. Now I am cutting up my large onion about the same size as I did the celery and the bell peppers. But a lot of people don't like to use onion, but they cause for great flavor. If you are not putting onion in your chili, something is wrong with you and you need your cooking license revoked. Stop being a baby and cut up some onions in your food. Now I have plugged in my hot plate and I am starting to cook the ground beef and the ground turkey. This hot plate comes in so handy. So what you want to do is, I don't like super huge chunks of meat in my chili. I want all of my meat to be broken up. I do not like big chunks of unseasoned meat. It's nasty and it's just not good. So I break my meat up very fine. As you can see now, I'm adding about 3/4 of the vegetables. I'm adding most of the veggies to my meat because I want my veggies to cook down and I want them to get in the flavor of the meat as well. I want the seasoning to cook in my veggies as well. So I'm dicing them up. I know this might seem like a lot of veggies to people, but hey, they're gonna cook down and they're gonna make for some bomb chili. So back off. I'm just kidding. But yeah, this is cooking 101 really. It's almost like our lives. We don't like everything that has happened in our life, but the Bible says that all things are working together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. All these onions and these peppers are working for a good cause to make some bomb chili that is healing to the soul. Alrighty, so we are continuing to break down this meat. Now I'm adding the rest of my vegetables. You know what? Honestly, I really thought when I was cutting up the vegetables, oh my God, this is a lot. But it ended up working out really, really well. So now I'm adding the seasoning. This is cumin. I don't know if people use cumin in their chili, but I do. It always had that chili flavor to me, the richness of the chili flavor. So I've always used it. Here's my chili powder. Of course, we're using chili powder in chili. If you have never used chili powder in chili, something is absolutely wrong with you. I just don't. Maybe you shouldn't be cooking chili if you've never used chili powder in chili. That seemed kind of harsh, but some people do stuff like that. Like, what? Okay, now here is my red pepper flakes. I'm gonna be quite generous. Like I've told you guys, I make grown people food. My food has to have a kick, so I'm gonna be pretty generous. Now this is completely optional. You do whatever you want to do. This is your dish. You know, even if you just decide to use salt and pepper in the 3 ingredients, more power to you. But I can do it. Here is my granulated garlic. Here is my garlic paste. I'm just gonna go ahead and use the rest of that too because it was almost gone anyway. Like I told you before, you can find this at your local Walmart and Meijer. Here's my black pepper. I use black pepper in almost everything. And here's my granulated onion. It balances out the flavor. I don't know why, I don't know how. It just does. And here's my seasoning salt. I'm not gonna be super generous with the seasoning salt because I do not want it to be salty. So that's about all that I am going to put in the chili. And here is my beef bouillon. I seen Stovetop Kisses put beef bouillon in her chili, and her recipes are very trusted. So I just went ahead and did it, and believe me, it did not disappoint. So what you want to do now is just mix all of that good seasoning up in there, okay? You want that seasoning to be well acquainted with that meat and those veggies. Okay, you want to get in every crack and every crevice. We don't want any bland piece of meat or vegetables. Okay, because really, if you season your meat before and let the seasoning cook in the meat will basically season your chili. You probably only have to add a few things. So continuing to get that seasoning up in there. I'm getting ready to let that simmer for a little bit. Let those flavors give each other's hugs. Okay, so now I have added my meat to a pot and I'm getting ready to put in the tomato sauce. I'm gonna stir that up just a little bit. It already started to look super good to me. And I hadn't made chili in a while. Now I'm getting ready to add the bushel baked beans. And I added the syrup in there too. I wanted the fullness of this recipe. I had never heard of anyone putting bushel baked beans in their chili, and I had never heard of anyone making 3 ingredient chili. So I wanted to try this, and it actually turned out amazing. And I'm like, even if it is nasty, with all the ingredients that I put in my chili, there's no way that this chili would not be good. And here I'm gonna try to add some stewed tomatoes. This pot was actually filling up very fast, and it was full to the brim when I added just a little bit of the stewed tomatoes. So eventually I had to add it to another pot when I put it on the stove to simmer. Now, like I said, I use stewed tomatoes in my chili. I use tomato sauce in my chili. This is your chili. These are your ingredients. You can add whatever you want. I just decided to add the stewed tomatoes because I feel like they're supposed to go in chili. I know they're supposed to go in my chili. But I definitely had to go a size up because this pot was too small. I did not know that I was going to make this much chili. So now I am done mixing up the cornbread mix. I am just adding butter to my pan, to all the sides and the bottom, just to make sure my cornbread doesn't stick, and it adds great buttery flavor to the cornbread. But please don't forget to preheat your oven to whatever the directions say on the back of the Aunt Jemima cornbread mix. I think it was like 425 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I believe it was 425. And this step is completely optional. You do not have to cook cornbread. So I let my chili simmer for a little bit. As you can see, I had to add it to a larger pot. I've added a few more seasonings and I let it cook down a little bit, and it tastes great to me. Like I said, you can add any seasoning that you want. You don't have to add any seasoning at all. I just seasoned it to my liking. I did not have to add any water or any chicken broth or anything like that. It was perfectly fine to me. So I will see you at the end to see the finished product. So my cornbread is all done. As you can see, it is perfectly golden brown. I left it in there for about 35 minutes, a little longer than what the package says. But here is my finished product. My 3-ingredient chili with a little bit of my own ingredients added. And here is my cornbread. It was delicious. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you try this recipe, please let me know how it turned out. I think this is going to be my new chili recipe from now on. Thank you for watching. God bless.